Sir, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
So please share your PPT.
The host has disabled my this screen sharing.
Just give me a moment. Yeah, now you can share.
Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
So are we supposed to start it right now, or I should wait for some time?
Yes, you can do that. Let it be if it's not working, or you can try something else. So you can tilt the screen of the laptop a bit.
Is it fine now?
Um, a little more would work. So yeah. Okay, so we are starting with the webinar in a minute.
Okay, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone, to all the attendees and the viewers who are watching this webinar today. So today we have a very special guest, Mr. Aman Kaushik. He is a practicing advocate with the experience of 3 years, handling all sort of cases, especially property cases, civil litigation, criminal cases, and GST matters. He has a quantum of very qualified and capable senior advocates and junior advocates for an ease of work and to reduce the burden of the client. Mr. Raman believe in working with transparency so that no fake promises to be kept in between. He worked with all the knowledge and capacity and never hesitate to face the challenges. Today, Mr. Aman has joined us for to share his knowledge on the topic real estate market, rights, liabilities, and ownership. We all know about the current situation and the real estate market. So now I would like Mr. Aman to share take over the screen and please share your views on this topic. Over
Good
to you,
evening,
sir.
everyone. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. This side Advocate Aman Kaushik, as has been introduced by Ms. Chandrika. Today I am here for this very topic, which is very much in hot news. That is real estate market, their rights of the buyers, the liabilities of the promoters, and the ownership. So, shall we start slides? First of all, I would like to introduce the RERA 2016, which has been incorporated with the legislation by the central government. Is it, is it, can the viewers view it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, the RERA, which has been incorporated in 2016, is basically a regulatory and development act, which is a regulatory body which has been established for the purpose of the transparency and the accountability of the promoters and the developers. Earlier, it was not used to be like this because there was not any stringent law against the developers and the promoters, and they used to give a single side agreement which was not buyers friendly, and they used to draft it as per their own wish and whim. So basically, it has bring an accountability and transparency in the real estate market, and it has defined various things. Like earlier, there was no definition for the carpet area. Now, when the RERA has been introduced, a carpet area definition has been incorporated in the Act, which defines the net usable floor area of the apartment. So earlier, the promoter used to give you an overview like you have to pay for each and every space, the open terrace, the shaft area, and vice versa. But right now, as per the definition of the carpet area, if he is charging you for the carpet area, then he has to charge the amount as per the area confined between the four walls, not for the open terrace, not for the area between the shaft and any sort of area which he earlier used to have. Also,
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Can you please change the slide?
but my, let me
Next
let
one.
me complete let me complete my radar thing first of all. Shall I?
Okay. Yeah. Sure, sir.
Yeah. So RERA has been introduced, and what what all the benefits it has given to us. It is, as I have earlier told you, that it is buyer friendly, more buyer friendly, and less to inclination towards the promoter. No project can be launched without the prior permission taken from the RERA. The promoter or the developer, he has to have get registered under RERA Act. Now we can move towards the ownership. So the initial right to property was guaranteed as per the Indian Constitution. Uh, Earlier, it used to be as a fundamental right, the ownership of a land, as per Article 246 and Schedule 7. But after the amendment, 44th Amendment in the Constitution of India, this Article 300A was introduced. And as per this article, no person shall be deprived of his property save by the authority of law. There have been various instances where before incorporation of this statute, this particular article, the people used to have fundamental rights over their lands. Like we are having right now the fundamental right of life, liberty, speech, equality, and many sort of. But things have changed after the introduction of this Article 300A. Also, there have been a case which has given uh, thing that human right, it is a human right. Earlier, it was not being mentioned anywhere. But in 2011, there was a judgment passed by the Honorable Supreme Court in which it has been said that though it is not a fundamental right, but yes, it is a human right. The government should acquire the land as per the laws, as per the rules mentioned, and not like an anarchy. The proper and fair compensation should be given to the landowners.
Sorry to interrupt you, Aman sir. Could you please share the slide share option? Like, we are not able to see your PPT.
Can you see it right now?
Yes, sir. The
I should not
ownership.
opt for the, yeah. So I have
So you are.
completed,
Yeah.
I have completed this ownership thing. Now
So
we
you
should
can
come,
move to the next slide. Yeah.
yeah. Now we should come to the next very topic, the real estate rights. What are different kind of rights given to the real estate holders, real estate buyers, and the promoters as well? So as you can all see, there are freehold rights, leasehold rights, the license rights, mortgage rights, easement rights, subsurface rights, and TDRs. These are the transferable and non-transferable rights. These all have been defined under the Transfer of Property Act. So, if I brief you guys for these type of rights, so a bit briefing is permissible. Am I right, Ms. Chandrika?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let me come to the freehold rights. The freehold rights refers to the absolute right, title, and interest in the land against the world at large. The owner enjoys the absolute ownership for perpetuity. It means that the owner will enjoy the right of his ownership to the particular land till the infinity or till what till his age, till the time he is living. Now comes the leasehold rights. Leasehold rights are rights in rem. It imposes a general liability on the both the parties. Basically, it will be availing against or affecting a thing. So, leasehold rights will be available to both the lessor and the lessee, but it will be more inclined towards the lessee. Now comes to the licensee rights. So, the license rights refer to the rights of the licensee and license holder to enter, occupy, and use a property wherein no interest or easement is created in favor of the licensee. These are rights in personam. Now, what it means, right in personam means imposing a personal liability. Now, if you are getting into this license thing, at least it will be on you that you will be liable for each and everything. If you uh, if you do something wrong or not as per the law, then it will be affecting the person who has taken the license. Now comes the mortgage rights. Now, if we talk about the mortgage rights, we have different slabs of. Uh, there are 6 kinds of mortgage which one can have, which includes simple mortgage, the mortgage by personal name, usufructuary mortgage, the English mortgage, deposit of title deeds, and anomalous mortgage. All these have been defined under the Transfer of Property Act. Now, I'm not getting into the details of these slabs just because we are having a constant time. So I should be moving forward to the easement rights. The easement rights. Now, coming to the easement rights, an easement is the right which the owner of certain land or occupier possess as such for the beneficial enjoyment of the land. Like For an example, there is a right to passage. Now, if you are having some land behind the land of another person, you're having an easement right in his property. He can't deny you the right to passage. Because if he is denying that fact that I'll not be giving you right to passage, then how are you going to enjoy your property? So for these purpose, easement rights have been incorporated. Finally, the subsurface rights. Subsurface rights are basically the right of a person who is owning the land, the right of the person beneath whatever there beneath your land. You're having the right. Like if you find any mineral under your land, then you will be the person who will be enjoying all the rights. Although the government will intervene in between, but you can't be deprived of from your rights because you are owner of the land, and you will enjoy definitely either the royalty or whatever the government decides to give you. Now, moving towards the another slide. Now comes the system of registration. As I have talked here about the RERA. Now RERA is such kind of authority which is marvelous in its sense because earlier it wasn't there, and people used to be like uh, deprived of the rights because there were one-sided agreements, there were different kinds of loopholes which these promoters and developers used to take benefit out of. Now RERA has come with all sort of things which are buyer friendly, and system of registration which has been introduced through this act is one of the marvelous things. Section 3 to 10 of the RERA, as you can see in the slide, it's already been mentioned. The 3 to 10 talks about this. It mandates each and every buyer promoter, I'm really sorry for the buyer, uh, it mandates the promoter and the developer to get registered under this act. Now, basically, we can see that nowadays the market is going on. Different kinds of developers are there. Like they are building floor wise. They're developing houses and they are selling floors. Let me make it very clear to you guys that these developers are not governed by this very act, because this act is applicable to only the people, the developer who is developing a land more than 500 square yards or is developing a unit or selling it more than 8 units, 8 flats, 8 apartments, one can say. So in this way, so those things are not applicable to the 500 square yards or the builder floors, one can say. But these are applicable to the big buyers, big builders, big developers. So 3 to 10, it mandates. And if it is not being followed by the developer or the promoter or the builder, there are penal laws against them, which are which are in this particular act. They will be penalized or they will be fined up to the 5% of the current market price of the property. Now moving towards also I have to mention the last section. There are various agents through which the buyer gets their flats registered or they buy their flats or their apartments. So this act mandates them to get registered under the RERA Act, under the RERA authority. If the real estate agent is not registered, then he cannot actually sell or promote the any of the builder thing. Now moving towards another slide. Works okay. Now, real estate market nowadays, due to this pandemic going on in Corona and COVID-19, as you all can see, we are sitting in their homes, and this market has crumbled up totally. It has come to such a level that one can never have thought of. But what? How does it? How does this market works? This market works like I have already mentioned in the PPT. That when the supply is greater than the demand, the prices will be less, and when the demand will be high than supply, the prices will definitely rise. But seeing the current situation due to this pandemic, there is no supply, no demand basically in the market going on. Because what has, it's kind of a threat which has been in the mind of the people. The money which they are having, they are not ready to invest into the market. They want their money to be with them so that the risk factor will be less. They are thinking that the risk will be high if they right now they invest their money into this real estate market. There are high chances of getting it. Uh, what one can say that it will be they will be in distress financial or the fiscal policies. They will be in distress. Their financial schemes will just a minute. Here it is. Sorry. Yeah. So so I should use Hindi also, Miss Chandrika, right? May I use it?
Any language you are comfortable with.
Yeah, I am comfortable with both. So, उस मार्केट को अगर आप देखना चाहेंगे तो लोग डरे, आप उस मार्केट में पैसा इन्वेस्ट वो करना ही नहीं चाहते, क्योंकि आज जो वो पैसा अपने पास रख रहे हैं, लोगों के पास जॉब्स नहीं है, लोगों के पास बिजनेस नहीं है, उनको सर्वाइवल के लिए पैसा चाहिए. They want money for their survival. And for that very reason, they are not interested to invest the money in the real estate market. Although there have been schemes which have been introduced by the finance minister, and I think 25,000 crores have been granted by the central government for the upliftment of this very market. But it's of no use right now. It's of no use. Now, moving forward to another slide. Now we come with the liabilities of the buyers and the sellers in the real estate transactions. As you all know, the transfer of property governs this. Section 65, Section 55, I'm really sorry. Section 55 describes all the liabilities and the duties also of the buyers as well as of the sellers. Like disclose the material facts regarding the property, like they are the only sole owner of the property. They are the
I think, Aman sir,
yeah.
yeah,
Am I
your
audible?
yeah, you are audible. I think your share screen option has been removed. I think there is a poor connectivity issue. So, is there
Yeah,
any
might be,
issue?
might be.
I would request you to please share your PPT.
Just a minute. Yeah, can
Uh,
you see this?
Please, yeah, on the upper side, you will see this option of slideshow. So, if you can do that for the audiences.
Yeah, can see it.
Mm, yes, sir. It will work. I think there is some issue. So, yeah.
Yeah. May I continue, please? Hello.
Yeah, you can continue, sir.
Okay, okay. Sorry for the interruption. It's just signal problems. So, the liabilities of the buyers and the sellers in the real estate transactions comes with an act of that is called Transfer of Property Act. Now, the people who are the sellers, they must be confined with all uh, all their title deeds, that they are very true in their sense. उनको बिल्कुल भी मतलब कोई मटेरियल डिफेक्ट नहीं होना चाहिए, कोई नेमिंग डिफेक्ट नहीं होना चाहिए. They should be the proper owner. It should not be like the ostensible ownership, like what you are showing, but it's not the truth. It should be the truth, because on the later stage, the person who is buying that particular property will be at stake. His money will be at stake. His mental temperament will be at stake. So things will get changed drastically. So one should get aware of all these things. A buyer should also be aware. He should also go through all the documents, all the title deeds thoroughly, or with the help of someone who is knowledgeable for these purposes. Coming to another slide, here are the public law permits and the obligations. Now under this, I have mentioned the urban planning and development laws, town and country planning laws, and the government master plan. Now these development laws and the planning laws, how they work? Basically, a government master plan works for it has a long-term plan. It is a long-term plan, basically. Like for any city or any metropolitan city, the government will plan for 25 years or 30 years that what kind of development should be started with the initiation of from where and to the ending of where. These are the things which government will plan for each and every, and it includes all the real estate developments also. Like town and country planning, if there's a particular department for it. These guys these guys just incorporate all the layout plans, all the schemes, from where the highway will be going on, from where they will be, and this what should we get, the elevated routes, and all sort of look, these kind of things. So now finally we come to the climate change, how it affects the real estate market. Climate change basically one what one what you, one should see it like nowadays.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, ma'am.
Share the slide of climate change then, if you are talking about the climate
Shared
change.
it. I've shared it already. I shared it. Ma'am. Can you see it, or what should I do, please?
It's the liabilities of buyers and sellers screen.
I have changed it, ma'am. I have covered the topic next to it: public law permits and obligations. Should I exit this screen, the full screen?
Sir, from the left side, if you can just select the screen, the slide, yeah.
Can you see it right now?
Yes, the public law permits and obligations.
Yeah, I have covered this topic. Okay. Now I'm finally to the last slide of my PPT. How climate change affects this real estate market, basically. So basically, real estate property could actually be underwater because of future climate changes. One can see that in India also. In India, let us talk about India only, and the NCR region, which is the highlighted region for this particular market. We have seen various earthquakes in a very recent few months, like 2 or 3 months. In this whole lockdown period, we have seen almost 3 to 4 earthquakes. Now, why they are coming? Why they are happening in this particular region, NCR region? There must be some sort of climate change. There must be some sort of tectonic plates which have been which are in distress. That's why they are just shifting, and we are facing these earthquakes. this kind of climate change will definitely going to affect the real estate market in this NCR region because and also I have chosen this climate change topic because it is the mandatory one I think for this real estate market. आज हम जिस चीज को डेवलप करने के लिए आज हम मान लीजिए हम 40 फ्लोर्स की एक बिल्डिंग खड़ा करना चाहते हैं एनसीआर रीजन फॉर दैट वी हैव टू डिग अप फॉर ऑलमोस्ट टू द डेप्थ ऑफ वेरियस मीटर्स अब उसमें हमें ये देखना होगा कि हम वहां तक जा सकते हैं या नहीं क्या हमारे जो हम जिस लैंड पे हम वो कंस्ट्रक्ट करना चाहते हैं वो उसको झेल सकती है या नहीं कैन इट बियर दैट प्रेशर फॉर डिगिंग अप टू दैट लेवल ऑल्सो एनसीआर रीजन की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ तो नोएडा का जिक्र हम जरूर करेंगे यहाँ पे नोएडा में जितने भी प्रोजेक्ट्स तो रिसेंटली उनमें अब what what crisis they are seeing they are facing the crisis the financial crisis basically but also they are facing the climate crisis they have developed the land near the Okla bird sanctuary which is also affecting now in this manner climate change is one of the biggest factor which is going to be right now it is not the promoters the developers they are not might not be watching it but in future they have to see the water crisis the water crisis will be the most the scarcity of water is the most in the NCR region right now it is not because we are having tap running full of water right now but what if there will be as the scarcity at large what we are going to do we will be at the into the court that buyer that the promoter and the developer has promised us for such kind of thing that our taps will always be running full of water now one should see all these scenarios and in this particular manner the climate change will definitely going to affect this particular market of real estate and how this effect will not only uh, for this climate purpose कि भी ये हमारे climate को ही बर्बाद करेगा या फिर ये हमारे climate के अनुकूल नहीं है this is not as per our climate but thing is कि जो prices जो hike हमें आज मिली हुई है वो एकदम से नीचे आ अगर इस चीज पे हमने काम नहीं किया बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज में CSR एक्टिविटीज होती हैं कॉर्पोरेट सोशल रिस्पांसिबिलिटी So one should get involved, one should take up this topic in those activities also because it is our social responsibility. It is the social responsibility of the buyer also and the developer also. Yes, ma'am. Tell me.
सो सर जब आपने ये बताया कि अभी जैसे वाटर स्कैर्सिटी हो सकता है और ऐसी प्रॉब्लम्स आ सकती हैं नियर फ्यूचर में तो who is more liable to it the builders the promoters
I'm not saying that everyone will be liable for it. Everyone, the buyers as well as the builders, because if there will be a demand, there will be a developer. If there is no demand, there will not be a developer.
scarcity
Builder
of natural resources would be there
exactly.
yeah
Builder पैसा कहाँ पे लगाएगा? Builder पैसा वहाँ पे लगाएगा जहाँ पे आप कहोगे कि हमें यहाँ पे घरों की जरूरत है उसको दिखता है स्कोप है यहाँ पे लोग जॉब्स करते हैं बिजनेस करते हैं ये एक मेगा सिटी बनने वाला है वहां पे वो डेवलपमेंट लाएगा तो इसमें सबकी इन्वॉल्वमेंट होगी ये जो स्कैरसिटी ऑफ नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ इसमें सभी की इन्वॉल्वमेंट है लेकिन बात ये है कि बिल्डर बिल्डर अगर आज फेक प्रॉमिस करता है तो कल को बायर तो कोर्ट में खड़ा हो जाएगा जाके
जी
लेकिन बिल्डर को तो देखना पड़ेगा
मैं इसी पॉइंट पे आने वाली थी सर कि अगर आज ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स मान लो बन जाते हैं इन बिल्डिंग्स को लेके किसी भी प्रॉपर्टी को लेके तो एज अ लॉयर व्हाट वुड यू सजेस्ट एज अ precautionary measure for them to take for such matters
the precautionary measure what I would suggest to a builder is, to a developer is basically to first of all keep a check where he is developing his project. उनको आज को लेके नहीं देखना है, उनको देखना है कि आज से 30 साल बाद तक भी अगर हम यहाँ पे कंस्ट्रक्ट करते हैं तो कितने रिस्क हैं यहाँ पे, या कितना हमें मतलब नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज हम यूज कर सकते हैं। आज के टाइम पे उनको ये चीज, उनको फ्यूचर प्लानिंग करके चलना पड़ेगा। उनको आज ये नहीं देखना चाहिए कि आज हमने ये बना दिया है, इसको हम सेल कर देंगे, देन विल बी टेकिंग बेनिफिट आउट ऑफ इट। उनको फ्यूचर प्लानिंग के साथ काम करना चाहिए, लॉन्ग टर्म प्लान करना चाहिए। उनको वहां पे पूरा उसका देखना चाहिए कि यहाँ पे ग्राउंड वाटर का लेवल क्या है, या फ्यूचर में ये बढ़ सकता है, यहाँ पे नेचुरल कैलामिटीज की अप्रोक्सीमिटी क्या है, व्हाट इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ गेटिंग नेचुरल कैलामिटीज। अगर अर्थक्वेक्स यहाँ पे ज्यादा आते हैं तो वो बिल्डर को फिर उसमें बिल्डर को भी नुकसान है। आपको मेंटेनेंस कॉस्ट हाई रखना पड़ेगा। अब जब आपकी मेंटेनेंस कॉस्ट हाई रहेगी तो बायर ऑब्वियसली बिल्डर विल आस्क द बायर टू पे, लेकिन फिर बायर उस चीज को कहेगा कि मैं तो नहीं पे कर सकता। अल्टीमेटली दैट थिंग विल कम टू द कोर्ट एंड कोर्ट विल डिसाइड। Things will get drastically changed for this very reason.
Okay.
Yeah. So the climate change is one of the most important things which one should keep in his mind while uh, promoting and while developing any of the project. Now, this was my presentation upon this very highlighted topic of today's, this real estate market. So over to you, Chandrika ma'am. Tell me if there is any question.
Thank you so much for this presentation. A lot of queries, I would say, a lot of clarity we have got from the presentation. We have questions from our audiences.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you one by one. There is a question from Vishali Dhawan. What is the scope of real estate laws in today's legal world, and how a fresher can start his or her professional journey in this specified way?
Can you repeat it? I just got the second
Sure.
question.
Vaishali Dhawan is asking, what is the scope of real estate laws in today's legal world, and how a fresher can start his or her professional journey in this specified way?
देखिए वैशाली जी, आपका क्वेश्चन बहुत अच्छा है. It's a very nice question because I have been a fresher 3 years back and I was not into the market and I was not working with anyone. Regarding the real estate, this new law, RERA, it is very much beneficial. You must go through it. It will help you a lot. It will help you a lot because lots and lots of people used to just see it like it's a regulatory authority. But what a lawyer should do, a lawyer must go through the whole act, because a lawyer is a person who can interpret all the lacunas, all the loopholes, all the things which are beneficial for the buyer, for the developer, for the promoter. So I would suggest that you must go through this very act because it is a very good act which has been incorporated by the central law. And regarding your career, I would suggest you to join some senior counsel who is an expert in this very field.
Okay.
Am I
hope Vaishali
I hope,
or
I hope, yeah. I hope
yeah,
these
your question has
questions,
been
yeah.
answered. If you have some other queries or more question to it, please do write it in the Q&A session. The next question we have is from Rahul Sharma. How is this different from Registration Act? And question mark. So do you get this question?
How is
I
this
don't know
different from
is,
Registration Act?
yeah, how
Yeah,
is it?
yeah, yeah. I can answer it. Registration Act basically deals with the registration of the land, of the property. Along with the Registration Act, a person should also read the Stamp Act, because there is stamp duty with every registration. You need to pay to the government for every registration of any kind of property. Here, what we have discussed regarding the registration is for the promoters and developers, and not for the registration of the land or the property. It is just for the promoters and also the agents, the real estate agents, the so-called property dealers or the brokers, we say. Because what I have discussed is more of a RERA thing and not the Registration Act. It is in totality a different thing. The Registration Act deals with the registration of the property and not with the registration of the promoters or the developers with RERA. I hope his query is clear.
Yeah. Next question we have is from Mrudula Mohan. Due to the present circumstances, many countries have imposed strict restrictions on international property transactions. So what are the rules or regulation on international real estate transactions implemented in India?
Uh, can you please come again? I beg your
Okay.
pardon for this. Yeah.
Uh, Due to the present circumstances, many countries have imposed strict regulations on international property transactions. So what are the rules and regulation on international real estate transactions implemented in India?
Rules and transitions, like I think she's talking about the foreign investments, the companies which wants to invest in India. Let me make you very clear for this. If any international brand or any international company or any international firm or any other person who is not an Indian citizen wants to invest in India, he must be following the law of the land. He'll not go out of it. If someone is investing in USA, supposedly, then he must be following those particular laws which has been passed by them. Same here. If if a person wants to invest in India in the land in real estate market, and he is from Dubai or he is from some other state, so he has to follow this very particular regulations. And if he is a buyer and he is having a firm, internationally renowned firm, then he must work with the guidelines and rules and regulations of the RERA. It is the basic law which has been inculcated in the Indian market.
I hope, Mridula, your question has been answered. If not, please, you can, write another question or maybe your query in the Q&A session itself. Next question we have is from Ankit Jain. What shall be the consequences of covenants, if any, of agreements entered into pre-RERA regime, which is against this RERA enactment, like absence of any of the rights as mentioned or provisioning of timely services, etc.
I think this question is too long.
A lengthy one. Sir, you can also see these questions in the Q&A session on your
Yeah.
screen for more clarity.
Just a minute, I'm clearing it with you.
For the time being, we can take the next question
Yeah,
from
we can take the next question. Yeah.
yeah. With respect to the final topic, Mridula is asking if an Indian citizen needs to buy large area near hilly regions like Dehradun or even Jammu and Ladakh, what are the essential documents one has to submit to get the land registered, and who will give the environment clearance certificate in such cases?
This question Actually, what she's asking is related to the local laws of that particular area. I have given an overview of the regulatory authority as a whole, which governs at all the places in India. For this very particular query of the lady, the local must be permitting all the and the authorities present there. They will let you know all the things, which which document is required, what all the what she has asked. This is totally related to the local laws of a particular because you can see if a person, if an outsider state person, like I belong to Haryana, or some people belong to Noida, or some people belong to MP Madhya Pradesh, they want to buy a land in Himachal Pradesh. So I have heard it, and also it is very true. Uh, People from the other state can't buy land in Himachal Pradesh. They can have just on the lease or on the rental basis, or they can be the tenants. They won't be the ownership. They won't have the ownership. They will only have the possession.
Sir, I think there is some network issue at your end. Aman sir, I I think there is some network issue. I would request you all to please.
Yeah. Am I audible? Right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Can you see? Might be some technical glitch.
Okay. The next question is from Archita Jha. How corporate lawyer are connected to or do real estate marketing?
Corporate lawyer,
Is
how
it
they are
this real
connected.
estate?
Okay.
I would say state this question as how corporate lawyers are connected to uh, or do this real estate marketing. Does lawyers do marketing, real estate
No,
marketing?
no. Basically, lawyers don't do any sort of marketing for anyone. They just draft. They just uh, be a mediator for you. They can be. Uh, they can draft the terms and conditions, the agreements, the MOUs. They can do licensing work, I would say. They are not for the marketing. Lawyers are not meant for the marketing purpose.
Okay, so Rishi Khanna is asking why there is so much of fraudulent practices in the real estate sector. Is it due to the lack of stringent legislation pertaining to the sector?
Yeah, exactly. Earlier, it used to be like this only. There were no stringent action which can be taken by any authority, or because you can see there were different kind of authorities for different kind of work.
Yeah.
Earlier, people used to went to the consumer forum for these sort of matters. Now it is, and for different other matters they went to the civil litigations. Now you can see RERA has been introduced. Now RERA is one of a kind of law which which already imbibed in itself that if someone get hampered or been tortured or been whatever his rights been hampered or tortured, so he can directly go to the authority and complain about the developer or the promoter.
Okay. Sir, Rahul has asked, do we need to have knowledge of family law?
For what?
Rahul has asked, do we
Okay,
need, sir, you're not audible. You're not audible, sir. Or maybe you can change. No, sir, you're not audible. Can you say something now? No, sir. Maybe you can change once the option of the speaker and the headset.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible
Yeah,
now.
am I audible now?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
regarding the question of Mr. What's his name?
Rahul
You
Sharma
asked.
has asked, do we need to have knowledge of family law?
So pertaining to this very law, family law is not required, I think. But yeah, in what context he's asking? If I'm not wrong, he's asking for the transfer and the transferable and conveyance successions for the regarding the property. This
Rahul,
is still
maybe, yeah, Rahul, can you provide like more description to your question? Next question we have is from Ayush Tandon. How inheritance of property is managed when there is a death of husband and there are two sons, one daughter, and a wife of the man died? How the property will be divided and how many shares?
let me check his question first. It's too
Ayush
long.
Tandon.
Yeah. How inheritance of property. So the answer to this very question is that one must go with the succession certificate. One must apply for the succession certificate, and once the succession certificate has been handed over by the court to the person, they can easily divide their shares.
So who take this succession certificate or
He, like his wife and two sons and one daughter. First of all, whether there was a will or not. If there is a will, then they are not required for the succession certificate.
yeah.
Yeah. If there is no will, then one must move to the civil court for the succession certificate. The court will check all the things that whether they are the actually legal heirs of the person deceased who has died, whether they are the real owner, whether they are the real heirs of the person who is dead. Then only they will provide the succession certificate. Yeah, tell me.
Okay, so the next question we have is from Vishali Dhawan.
Mhm.
She's asking, is there any online certificate courses on real estate laws like KDR certification, civil law certificate, cyber law certification?
Mhm. I don't think so that right now we are having any kind of certification course for this particular topic because it's very new. It's very new in the market.
The next question is from Ankit Jain. What will happen to the property already applied many years ago from the date of RERA comes into force by paying token money, but has not been allotted time date, but not has but has not been allotted till date? What are the beneficial provisions under this law for customer point of view with respect to such application which is not yet allotted?
Yeah, I have a very good case law regarding the query of Mr. Ankit Jain. It has been decided by the Gurgaon RERA only, Haryana RERA only, and in that particular, it was in 2017. The buyer has not the builder was not registered as per RERA rules and regulations because it was very new. RERA wasn't there, and it does not have any retrospective effect. It only have prospective effect. So there is a time period for the developer and the promoter to get registered under RERA. That is for 3 months. If he is not getting registered itself, then he will be penalized as per the RERA Act. So I hope the query of Mr. Ankit Jain will be sought out after listening to this, because because they can move directly to the RERA authority and ask for the for the relief they're searching for.
Sir, the next question we have is how is commercial use of land covered in RERA, as in are there provision for special economic zone?
Special economic zone is not covered under RERA. I think SCZs are related directly to the government part. First, the SCZs should get passed by the authorities itself. Then only um, then that zone has been created. If the zone has been created, then only after that these land laws will be applicable to them.
Sir, the next question is from Rishi Khanna. The Supreme Court has reiterated that under property for all, one should have only one home register under his name. Does not this violate the human rights of acquiring a property?
I think can't answer to this. Means, I'm not getting what he's basically asking.
So basically, what I can gather from this question is Supreme Court might have, passed something like property for all.
Okay.
Under property for all, इसमें जहाँ तक है कि एक बंदे के नाम पे एक ही घर रजिस्टर हो सकता है। पर वो ऋषि पूछ रहे हैं कि क्या ये चीज वायलेट नहीं करती एक ह्यूमन राइट को ऑफ एक्वायरिंग अ प्रॉपर्टी? If you can answer this question in English, he's from South and he understands English.
Frankly speaking, currently I'm not aware of this very rule has been passed by which this directions or this judgment has been passed by the Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court. So I would like to address him further, means in future, because I need some time for this to research on this topic.
Okay, so Rishi,
I'm not aware of this very what he's asking for.
Rishi, you can mail your question to sir. Maybe he can, get.
Yeah, definitely. I'll reply him on my mail so that his queries will be sorted out.
So, sir, I would request you if you can share the contact details of yours, like the first slide of PPT, so that they can, mail you the questions which they want.
You see?
I request all the attendees to note this email ID and they can write their questions to sir, and he'll be happy to help you guys.
Yeah, definitely. I will be happy. More than happy, I will be.
Sir, the next question we have is from Ayush Tandon. Will wife and children be the property equally?
Yeah, they will have an equal share.
The wife and the children, do they have equal rights?
Yeah, exactly. If they have a will, there is a will, then the share which has been given, which has been distributed as per the will, it will be given to them. Else, if there is no will, then it must be partitioned as per the law, and they will be given equal share.
Okay, sir, the next question we have is from Gaurav. What if builder fails to deliver the possession on time? How will authority helps the buyer? What is the procedure to approach the authority?
Okay. So I've already told you in the slide that RERA deals with all this kind of discrepancies which a buyer face during uh, while buying from the builder or promoter. So basically, one must go to the RERA authority and if he wants to get a refund and don't want any kind of property from the builder or the buyer, from the builder or the promoter, then he must visit to the RERA authority under Section 18 for the refund of what he has given as a consideration amount. And also he'll be liable to get the builder will be liable to pay the interest. There are penal options also in which the builder will be asked to submit till up till 5% of the total cost of his project. So th- these are the remedies for the buyer basically under RERA.
Okay.
Definitely he'll get something. It's not like that he'll be waving his hand from another showroom or something.
I hope all the attendees have noted the email address of sir. The next question, sir, we have few more questions. Due to time constraint, we might not be able to answer all the questions. What are some of the issues that a rental or lease agreement can address?
A rental or lease agreement. Basically, first of all, what uh, what small mistakes these agreements while incorporating these agreements, the lessee or the lessor, both the parties do is they don't get it registered in a proper manner. If the document is not registered in a proper manner, there will be no proper remedy given to them. Secondly, they somehow don't put any kind of uh, clause in it so that the matter can be mutually or amicably settled between both the parties. They don't put any arbitration clause in that. So these are some of the discrepancies which they make while drafting it, and the result will be as you're asking for it.
Sir, there is a question in case of real estate dispute. What are the legal resources available to the aggrieved parties?
Now, to this very question, it totally depends on what kind of dispute has arisen. If it is related between a buyer and the promoter or the developer, then the RERA is there. We have a specific law for that. Now, if we comes to the this agricultural land. Now, if an acquisition has been made by the government, then we have different kind of law for it. It is basically Land Acquisition and Rehabilitation Act, which governs it. So for different kind of disputes related to this very topic, we have different kind of laws. If if a person's money has been stuck somewhere, and if it is not governed by RERA, then one must move with the civil litigation for the recovery of that money. But for that purpose, we must be having something in our hand, something written, something stringent, so that we can take an action against the person.
Sir, the next question we have is, can a real estate agent facilitate purchase or sale of real estate projects without his registration?
Not at all. Not at all. As per RERA, Section 9 and 10, it is a mandatory provision for the real estate agent for doing all these things. He must be a registered agent for purchase, for selling or promoting any kind of builder or promoters activities or their projects. He must be registered. Else, there is an option for him also, there is a penal option for him also, that he will be fined up to 10,000 rupees per day till the day from the from the cause of action arisen and till date,
Okay.
to which the judgment will be given.
Yeah, so all to all the consumers, we can request to check the registration of the real estate agent
Exactly, exactly.
to be.
Whether he is a responsible person or not.
Sir, in the end, I think due to time constraint, can we have the any landmark judgment in this particular area that you would like to share with us?
Like I have already told one of the query, there is a RERA judgment in which one of the listener has asked that if it is not registered with RERA till now
Yeah.
or till some days back or some months back, few months back, there is a judgment Simi Sikka versus Messrs. Imar MGF Land Limited. Now, Imar MGF Land Limited is a top-notch builder and he's one of the finest. So Simisika property was stuck in their project, and they have escalated the amount or something like that has happened to her, and the carpet area and the square feet area for her commercial property was reduced. So she went to the RERA authority seeking the relief against the particular promoter, and to which she has been given the relief, and she has and the promoter has been ordered to provide her with her property which she is entitled for. And there is one more land acquisition judgment in 2011 which pertaining to this very law states that it is not a fundamental right of any person in India to be the ownership thing which I have already discussed, but it is a human right, and it has been said in the judgment given uh, in state of Haryana versus Mukesh Kumar in 2011. It has been stated by the Apex Court of India. So these two judgments I would like to refer to all the viewers and listeners for future references. If they stuck somewhere pertaining to this very thing, they can keep a reference for it to check on these particular judgments.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing the judgments which would help all the maybe attendees or viewers in future. I would like to thank you, sir, for taking out time and giving your presentation on this topic. I think real estate is an industry which is facing a lot of problems due to this situation, and also the natural calamities which we are currently facing. That in Delhi NCR, a lot of earthquakes have been coming lately. That we can see that there are a lot of earthquakes in Delhi NCR. So I think that could be a cause of concern for all the real estate member or people.
Yeah.
As you rightly mentioned about the climate change, also has a it has a huge impact on real estate industry. So thank you so much, sir, for the insightful insights, your insights on this topic. All the attendees are, thanking you, and they really like your webinar.
I would also
Uh,
like to thank the team of lawyers for arranging this sort of on this very topic, arranging this webinar for the current topic, which is very much hotspot for all the viewers. And I hope that I have been uh, to up to the mark to their queries. And if any kind of inconvenience has been caused due to some uh, signal
technical.
problem or something, yeah, technical glitch. So I'm really sorry for that. I beg apologies from your side.
No, no, sir. I think that
Season,
is which is a part of online activities which we have to.
it is a great honor to be here, and I am very
Thank
much thankful to you guys and to all the listeners who have listened to me for this much of patience. Thank you so much.
uh, at the ending note, I would like to thank Lloyd for organizing this webinar and all the team of Business Outreach for making this webinar successful. I would like to end this session over here. So thank you, sir. Thank you all the attendees and participants
Thank you so
for your
much.